Okay, welcome back to the Legends of Valcia. I'm going to be doing the recap here because we had a couple of different points of view. So, this is what happened. The party who had fought a bunch of suits of armor and things in the last session managed to get get one of their party members sucked into an extra-dimensional space. So here's what happened. They came upstairs after Harbik was bit by a vampire. They poured some blue water on the vampire bite to make it go away, and everything was good. They came upstairs and were looking around, trying to find if there were any survivors left in the place, because they were concerned that maybe there were just some genuine adventurers here. After searching around for quite some time, Din managed to convince Brieg to try and open the treasure room door. It was very easy to pick, and Brieg was absolutely terrified because of that. So he got as far away as possible and opened it with a mage hand. Din, however, as cautious as ever, was standing nice and close to the door when it was opened, and vanished along with the entire treasure room. The party panicked and started looking all over the mansion for where Din might be, going down into the basement, etc., looking for any sign of Din, who had just basically disappeared. Tabron, while searching, walked onto the grassy patch where the room used to be and was also sucked into the extra-dimensional space. This is where the party is split in two. Brieg and Harbik got into a little bit of an argument, and Brieg felt a little uncomfortable, and so Lord Silverstar bubbled to the surface, much to Brieg's, or much to Harbik's glee, because that's exactly who he was looking for. And Harbik and Lord Silverstar spent some time getting to know a little bit about each other, wandering around the mansion, trying to locate a way into the extra-dimensional space, or at least some evidence that Tabron had gone missing. Tabron and Din, meanwhile, were stuck in a treasure room. It's about 15 feet by 15 feet, surrounded by treasure and gold, but they couldn't open the door. Tabron rested and spent some time searching for potions and other baubles and trinkets that might be magical. And after resting for an hour, cast a Dispel magic spell with great force on the door of the treasure room. When he cast a Dispel magic, the extra-dimensional space collapsed, spat him and Din back out into the real world, into the party room. And the loud crack of thunder was heard by Harbik and Lord Silverstar, who were in the basement, still discussing the finer points of Brieg's paranoias, Lord Silverstar's obnoxiousness, and Harbik's touchedness, as Lord Silverstar put it. The party finally met back up after heading towards the entrance at the same time, and I believe have decided to get as far away from this horrifying place as possible before discussing the events and deciding what to do next. A little bit of a long recap, but we had a couple of different points of view to go over, so that's where we are. You guys are all just outside the mansion, just outside the manor. You have grouped up, and yeah, are we getting away from this place as quickly as possible? What's the plan from here?
I think we should head at least towards the tower, the temple, the ruins
Alasar.
that we were headed to.
Temple
Yeah.
of Alasar.
Maybe
Alasar.
let's, walk for an hour and then we'll camp, because Brieg looks like Lord Silverstar looks like he could use a nap.
Yeah, I really don't feel well, and I'm not sure why.
You know those moments that you don't remember, those gaps in your memory.
Yes?
Maybe you were
Somebody
wounded
punched you
during one of those. I find it a bit curious that we're just going to leave the vampire there to continue preying on unwary adventurers.
Yes, I'm quite uncomfortable with that.
3 times that we should set the house on fire, but nobody listens to me, so I'm just gonna leave.
I'm curious why... Did you see something, Tabron, that led you to the conclusion that we needed to get away right now?
The amount of magic that goes into creating a place like this, and the extra dimensional plane that we were put into, and that can amass such a treasure and con so many people, being of a similar nature of magic and con art and pursuit of riches, this is not a guy you want to mess with. And if he comes back and we're here, we're not likely to survive.
Oh, I've got a
Whether
great
the
idea how we
vampire
could mess
fits
with
or
him.
not, we get out of here.
Let's post signage on every path to the house for like a mile radius around it that just warns
like
adventurers
leaving
off
bread-
that that's not a good place to go.
That's like leaving breadcrumbs for them to come and follow us.
Well, he won't know it's there. He doesn't patrol every path to his house. He waits inside to throw the big party.
Roll a perception check for me, please. Everybody.
Why didn't we leave?
Oh, I assumed we
You're
were having
walking
this
away.
conversation while we walked away,
Okay,
right?
good.
Briggs is as
Single
perceptive as ever.
digits. Single digits.
Bree is super perceptive.
Yep, okay. While you're all arguing, Din is worried about the house and is a little annoyed that it hasn't been burnt down yet, so she turns around and glimpses a massive blue portal open up over the manor, and then the portal disappearing.
Oh,
Did the manor disappear or just the portal?
The manor disappeared as well. It looks
You
just like
guys.
the countryside you remember.
You guys,
Problem
we don't need to
solved.
post any signs.
I'm not. That doesn't actually solve the problem. That just compounds it.
That's exactly what's supposed to be there. Everything's fine. Let's go to the temple now.
well, a problem you can't solve is nearly as good as a problem that never existed.
It's a problem that's not there anymore.
Yes, but now aren't we all going to walk away bearing the guilt that we've left this creature who is clearly capable of setting up shop wherever he desires, duping adventurers and
If I-
destroying them and turning them
Silverstar,
into...
think of it this way. He existed before we knew about him. The fact that we know about him and can't do anything about it doesn't change anything. There's no guilt. We're walking away bearing a bit of booze and a few pointy daggers made of some strange metal that we found in his house.
Right.
And I don't think we bear any guilt.
The guilt
I'm
lies in the
feeling
fact
pretty
that
good
we
because
we could have done
live.
something
No
about
guilt.
it.
Could we have?
I don't know why you'd even want
He
to
can
even
teleport an
consider
entire
feeling
house.
guilt.
What can we do about someone who can do that?
Like, stab him. Repeatedly. With these.
Right, if I tried to stab you repeatedly with these, what would happen to me?
I would probably try to stab you back.
Or, do you have any other tools at your disposal?
Well, a few.
Right, now, do you think he has any tools at his
Well,
disposal?
certainly, I'm not an idiot.
Great, so let's not fight people that kill us, or worse, turn us into like magically animated suits of armour, and let's maybe worry about this
How long?
Later.
How long have we been travelling together,
Harbeck?
Harbeck?
you and I,
Well, this-
several
Harbeck?
months, but like for 15 minutes at a time.
Harbeck?
And all of that time we have spent killing things that wanted to kill us.
Harbeck,
Right, but none of them were this scary. Din, yes, Din.
Harbeck, I think Lord Silverstar needs a nap. Do you have anything that might help him take a nap?
You, sir, look
Tavern
thirsty.
gets the hint and goes up and punches him in the face.
Tabarin should add like one thing to his description on the character page: unsubtle. He is the least subtle con artist I've ever met. Oh, there's something beneath the floor? Blow the floor up.
When I'm in a con, sure, I'll be subtle. Maybe not.
So you just walked up and punched Lord Silverstar
Yeah,
square in the nose.
square in the nose with my 9 strength.
What was that for?
You didn't punch him, you booped him.
Just enough to make his eyes water.
What in the world was that for? I think I will take that drink.
Great, here, have this one.
So, you said this is going to help me sleep. Should we set up camp first?
You're quite small, I'll carry you.
That's an odd offer.
Oh, don't drink the whole. Well,
He
we'll
just
see you in 8 hours. Come here, sweetheart. Come here. Come here. There you go. Let's go now. Let's go. You
Moments
just sleep it
later-
off, buddy. You sleep it
Moments,
off.
moments later, Brig / Silverstar is fast asleep.
I fell over.
Being carried in Harbeck's arms, and you're walking. How long are you walking for? It's mid-afternoon when this
I
happens.
just napped like an hour and a half or 2 hours ago. Like, slept for the night. It's still like mid-morning.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, it is. Yeah, it's still quite early. You're right, because
Yeah,
you wake up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, we've got a good 8 hours of travel ahead of us, I think.
Okay, so you're just walking towards the Temple of Alisar for 8 hours.
Maybe 4 hours. Take a short rest. Let
About-
people.
At the short rest in 4 hours, Harbeck still carrying Brig around. Says, I think Brig will have watch tonight.
My sleep schedule is going to be off from everybody for the. It's going to take us weeks to readjust.
That's right. It happens to the best of us. Okay, so you walk, you rest for about an hour. You walk. It's getting close to nighttime. You're about an 8-hour walk away from where the mansion used to be. Brig is just waking up from his nap. Brig is waking up from his nap. I suppose I should clarify that Brig is
He's waking up from his nap.
What
and
happened?
you're going to be.
Oh,
making
welcome
so
back,
just-
lad. Lord Silverstar came in and tried to help us with a puzzle, but it's so good to have you back.
He's a silly sort, isn't he?
He described himself as obnoxious. I think I'm obnoxious. I think he's just abrasive.
Arrogant.
I was going to say something else, but
Sorry, we get carried away.
what was I going to say? All right, yes, watches. Are we doing them? Who's doing them?
Well, Brig just took his full rest, so I guess I'll stay up all night.
Okay.
I'll
So
probably
Brig-
wake up for the third watch.
I think Brig is offering to just do the lot.
Right, I'll probably wake up anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brig,
All right,
Brig
Penny-
will happily stay awake all night. Calling what I do watching is probably inaccurate.
Yeah. I was about to say, can I please have a perception check from you, Brig?
Passive perception 9.
Boom, double digits.
Could have been worse.
Digit perception. That's impressive. Okay. You are. Yeah, nothing happens that night, actually. Everything is fine. You wake up the next morning in the rolling hills below the Temple of Alisar, which, by the way, you can still see on the horizon. Remember, this thing is massive. It's huge. It's,
Yeah, we've been able to see it for days, right?
yes.
Keep going. Rest it up.
Going to continue traveling.
Yep.
Traveling onwards towards the Temple of Alisar. Okay. You're about 5 days out, so let's go ahead and say, if you're heading straight there, each night we're going to be having people doing watches. Can I just have a single perception check from each of you, please? To represent the various watches you'll be doing, basically.
Ooh, Harbeck's watch. We all get beat up. Oh, 15's not
Double
terrible.
digits.
15 is actually not bad, yeah.
On Harbeck's non-watch nights, he probably stays up with his tools and tinkers into the night, making stuff.
Yes. Okay. So you've got 4 nights. You've got 4 nights to do things with
Yeah.
as you travel. So you can, if there's anything specific that you want to do during that time, you won't be able to set up a brew, like, because you're on the move, basically. You're not going to be able to set up and brew anything. But But if there's anything else anybody wants to do during those 4 days, now would be the time to let me know.
So, do I have enough time? Well, why am I? Whose mic is open? I'm like looping. Hearing myself.
It's
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Skype dropped again, and when it comes back, my mic is on. So
Okay.
Remember to turn it back off.
So, what was I saying? Oh, do I have enough time to get out like alchemist supplies, which I'm also carrying, and do tests on the different kinds of like flowers and roots and stuff that we've picked up?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you
Okay.
still haven't identified most of those, have you?
The only information I have is that nothing in the local area eats blackroot. That's all I have. So
Yes.
I have 4 different items in my inventory that if I have 4 nights, I'll just spend like 1 night investigating each one and looking for any properties that might be useful. So I have weird purple flower, blackroot, potato things, and sack full of plant stuff from Bear Guy.
Oh, right. Yes, the sack full of plant stuff from Bear Guy. The sack full of plant stuff from Bear Guy is wide and varied, and you're most likely going to need some downtime to sort through it all and document and experiment with it properly. But the other 3 things you absolutely can have a look at.
Okay.
So, night 1, which one are we doing first?
Weird purple flower. Alchemist tools roll? Is that what I'm doing?
Yep.
Boop. Oh, come on, dice.
Nope.
Great. We'll look at weird purple flower again the second night then.
Okay.
Dice, go in the other order.
The other order would have been excellent, but nope. You start to glean some insight into the actual like makeup of the plant, but you can't sort of come up with any kind of uses for it.
Great. The next night, I'm going to drink one of my... No, that's silly. Don't do that. Hey, Tabarin. Can you do that thing you do that makes us better at stuff? Oh, wait.
Sure.
I should say that as Harbeck. Can you do that thing you do that makes us better at stuff? That sounds better in his voice. It sounded stupid when...
You see, when you're looking at these things, you need to be looking at the small bits and parts, tasting.
No,
a
the
little
magic
bit of it.
thing.
You'll figure
Do
it
the
out.
do the magic bit.
Yeah. I did that.
Great.
Try it.
I don't want your advice. I want your magic.
21. Which one were you looking at?
23, because I got magic. The weird purple flowers for the 3rd time. 3 nights of investigating weird purple flowers.
The weird purple flowers, which you haven't seen growing in the area that you're in now, up on the hills. They were down in the forest. But the weird purple flowers, you do discover a use for them. If you grind them up in just the right way, you can like make this incredibly sticky gum. It basically becomes like super glue, only it's not like it doesn't harden, it stays malleable. It's just really, really sticky gum, almost like a tar-like substance. How you decide to use that, if you do decide to use that, is up to you. But yeah, if you take the flowers and you grind them up in just the right way, in just the perfect mix of beer, you get a sticky gum.
Okay.
He spread sticky purple flower stuff on the stairs. I was caught unawares.
Great. So I had 3 of these flowers, and we spent 3 days investigating them, so I probably ruined some. How much sticky stuff do I have now?
You have enough sticky stuff to create something once.
You have
A
One
single post-it note.
dose of sticky stuff. Great.
But I mean, you can always get some more of those flowers if you...
Yeah, if we go back to the
if
forest.
they're back in the forest.
Right. So I've got notes about what they do and stuff.
Okay.
I'd
So, 4
like
days
to-
later. Yes?
I'd like to take some time looking at some of the things I commandeered from the treasure room, just poking around at them, looking at any magical runes, looking just value,
Okay.
feeling proud of myself for getting away with some of this guy's stuff.
Feeling very clever. I feel clever. Oh, so clever. Can I have a... What's the roll now? They've removed all of the good skills. For appraising something, let's go with the... Investigation? Maybe?
Insight?
I was thinking insight, but insight's more like sense motive.
Yeah, I think investigation is probably the best.
It would be, yeah, probably an intelligence check anyway.
Let's go with investigation.
I guess I should go back to where we can see the dice. It's just weird because we're not on this map anymore.
Yeah, I can.
Can you just put the world map up
Yeah,
for the
absolutely.
stream while we're doing this stuff? Great.
There we go. I should also have like a marker to represent where the party is.
Oh, that would be
Like
neat.
that I can move around on the map.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I can just grab a Warby. Let me do that quickly. Is there anything else anybody wants to do during those 4 days, or are we satisfied?
I'm good.
We are satisfied.
I'm sending you a little message.
You are sending me a little message. Okay.
We were just
I'm-
south of Alisar, right?
Yep.
Keeping an eye out just to see if if we happen across any wolf tracks on our way, that I might be able to determine which way my family went if they're still around, but not, you know.
Oh, Brieg. Oh, Brieg. Me and you are going to have a discussion later on. Because that's actually a significant thing. All right, but we'll deal with that later, because that's going to take a little bit of time. So yes, you're currently just south of Alisar, and you've been traveling for 4 days now. So 4 days later, after wandering around and playing with purple plants and polishing up shiny things, the party finds itself on the final ascent to Alisar. From here, looking up, just moving your head back and looking up, you can't see the top of the ruins. Like, they sail skywards. It's a huge building, truly awe-inspiring. It's hard to put into words, which is very difficult for a game that uses words to describe exactly what you're seeing. But just take my word for it, it's absolutely massive, absolutely awe-inspiring. And as you get to the final approach, you see a few different types of unusual people, unusual humanoids wandering around, wearing all kinds of different get-up. This is a mixing pot, a melting pot of savage races from the free land of Amaris. You see dragonkin, you see cat people, you see people who have unusual features that you are completely unfamiliar with. And they're all seemingly getting along, although you can feel there's definitely tension in the air. The path that actually leads up the mountain to the summit, to where the temple is, there's currently two people, or I should call them people, I don't want to be racist. There is a dragonkin and another creature that is kind of like a birdman.
Arakokra?
Well, no, it's not a creature that you're familiar with, but they're definitely like he has avian features, wings, and they're both standing one either side of the path, both armed, both wearing armor, obviously serving as guards to the entrance to the temple. Would be your guess.
Do you think we need to talk to them to get by?
It seems
I'll
that
do
Find out.
lots of people
Let's
just hang
walk
out
and
here.
See if they stop
I
us.
can't imagine.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was directed at Binks.
Right.
I'm
My mistake.
gonna move forward and just see if I can walk through nonchalantly, like I know where I'm going.
Okay, as you attempt to cross, they step into your path, both of them directly raising shields and
Oh.
weapons, and say,
Pardon me?
"Halt!"
You
Or-
halt.
They're not
Yeah.
moving, Din.
Oh, good work.
We're just going to take a look up at the magnificent tower.
Why can't we go to the temple?
Outsiders aren't welcome.
I'm not an outsider.
You certainly are.
Outside of
Since
what?
when?
But if I went inside the temple, then I'd be an insect. I'll keep my jokes to myself.
I'm
Looking at the
confused. We're
assortment
all-
of people visiting the temple, I'm curious as to what you mean as outsider. Outside of what?
As you look around, and you say that, Brieg, you notice something. You see no humans, no gnomes, no halflings, no elves, no dwarves. Only savage races.
I'm getting all snarly at this guy. Like literally growling at him.
All right. Well, understandable.
And all these people are inside the temple doing
Wait.
stuff.
They're wandering around, like, they're freely coming and going up the path towards the temple. A lot of them are camped around the base of the temple as well. But yeah, they're able to get up towards the temple, no worries.
Well, perhaps you could help us with something then.
What is it?
I think our primary purpose in coming here was to find some of the elders of your people. We have some questions.
I guess you're
directed
directing
at
that at the
Dragonborn.
Dragonkin?
Yeah.
What questions? And what do you mean, your friend?
We were traveling with one of your people, a cleric named Rogar.
You said, like, when you mention the name Rogar, you see his eyes soften slightly. Obvious recognition of the name. But they almost immediately steal again. Rogar? You were traveling with him?
For some time, yes.
He abandoned his people when they needed him the most.
Maybe he went to get help. Maybe he found us.
If your people are in trouble, I fear there may be even more trouble on the horizon. We're trying to stop that and gather as much information as we can.
You humans are nothing but trouble.
Mostly that's true.
That all seems a bit grandiose. I thought we were just curious. What? I didn't know we were trying to stop things.
If it
didn't
makes you
think you
feel any
were
better, I'm
human.
actually a gnome, and he's a dwarf, and she's basically a wolf. So there's not
Really?
a
Ask
lot-
her how much gold she'll give you for an apple.
really not many humans here. No, as it goes.
It's a bit racist to say that anyone who's got smooth pink skin is just a human. It's a bit racist of you.
If you wish to enter the temple, you'll need the blessing of one of the tribes.
Okay.
But if you
I don't
can-
know that we necessarily need to enter the temple. We
Yeah,
just...
As a matter of fact, if you could just point us to where we can discuss this with, say, your tribe, we may not need to get into the temple at all.
Perhaps we're taking the wrong approach. Maybe it's not about what we need as much as it is about what we have. Had. We lost it, didn't we?
I think the cats have got it.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe.
Do we have anything? Do we have anything that's useful? Other than... I mean, we could tell a story, but it would just sound like a tall tale at this point,
we
I
just
imagine.
We've got a
We just
huge
keep losing
series of
things.
questions.
Maybe if we tell enough of the story, there'll be enough coherent bits that it'll stop sounding like a tall tale.
We lost the books. We lost the
we do
box.
have...
We lost Rogar.
What do you mean you lost Rogar?
Well, you'll notice that I discussed travelling with him in the past tense.
There was a bit of teleporting that went awry, and he didn't make it to the other side. We don't know where he ended up.
We think the elves of Thacon have buried him under hundreds of feet of stone.
Well, that's one potential explanation, though it's not the one that I favour.
You obviously didn't know Rogar for very long. If you're seeking my tribe, you'll have to travel north to where they're camped at Norfolk. It's quite a way.
There's no one like in the temple that could
We
step
can get
out
permission
to
from any tribe, right?
give us permission to, or answer a couple questions.
Indeed, any tribe will... the blessing of any tribe will allow you to enter the Temple of Alasar. But you're not going to receive a warmer welcome here.
So whose tribe is closest?
There are several tribes close.
Okay, we'll try one of them.
That was not actually a helpful response to that question.
Is there anyone here who'd be interested in a story about... now,
I'm pretty
adversaries of, let me make that very clear. We are adversaries of followers of Sarath.
I've got a feeling this isn't going to go well.
Two creatures, like the Birdman and the Dragonkin, both literally hiss and spit at the name Sarath when it is uttered. And what does a dwarf know of that creature?
Only what I learned while we were travelling with Rogar. We've
been fighting
run afoul
the whole time.
of some plots and schemes, and every time something bad's happened to us, we found evidence of the followers of a name I probably shouldn't say aloud again, as to not offend you folks. Shall I call him that beast?
Call him what you will. That filth died millennia ago.
Around the same time
That's what you
as
think.
Kurtlemark died, right?
Kurtlemark.
He's not
I
dead.
haven't heard.
We saw him.
Right, that was the point I was about to bring up.
Oh, right. Sorry, I spoiled your reveal there.
I've seen Sarath.
You've
I've
what?
seen...
Wait!
Dark Elemental.
Oh, we just walked for 4 days. He couldn't have. Your turn. I'm gonna go have a drink.
Well, this is a story I
He's
haven't
alive.
heard. I'm quite interested in finding out what happened.
What do you mean you've seen Sarath?
He exists.
That's impossible.
Yeah, and there are a lot of other things that seem impossible in this world that in the course of the last month I found to be real.
The wee one there.
You can
He went toe to toe with
choose to
Kurtlemark.
ignore-
Yep.
They had a bit of a melee.
Yeah, I think that these are things that are better discussed not with random guards on the path, 1 and 2.
Will anyone believe them?
Well, probably not, but don't you think that I should be revealing that I'm a god to some sort of important
I didn't
person?
say you were a god. I just said you fought the guy. You said you were a god, not me.
This puny thing is a god?
Well, we think so.
Occasionally, not right now, but sometimes if you get him angry enough.
Sometimes he's a very short man.
The Birdman sort of hops and skips around and pokes Bree gently with the butt of his spear. Doesn't look like a god to me.
That's not going to get him angry enough.
Have you seen many gods? You know, like in the flesh.
Well, no.
Turns out they look a lot like me.
Both of the guards start laughing. And the avian-like guard, he He looks at you, bemused and puzzled, and
Look, I understand that this is a bit difficult to believe, but perhaps if we could speak with someone more versed in the lore of Ao and his children.
But he already told us who to go speak to.
I don't want to walk all the way to Norfolk. We've been walking for days.
We don't have to walk to Norfolk. There are lots of tribes that are close by.
listen.
But talking to the cat people isn't going to help us.
The avian guard says, listen, my elder is here on a delegation at the moment, resolving an issue, a territory dispute. If nothing else, I'm sure you'll give him a laugh. If you desire, I might be able to set up a meet, but he doesn't take too kindly to outsiders.
We'll be as polite as possible.
Just have more to drink or less.
That depends. Have you got any more of that sleeping draught?
That's probably correct. I shall be on my best dwarven manners.
I'll be finishing up my shift here in, about 2 hours' time, when the sun dips below the horizon.
Where should we meet you?
You'll just come back and grab me here.
Will do. Thanks for hearing us out, as disjointed as our story may have been. You'd think we would have prepared over the last 4 days for this bit.
Listen. I'm always up for a good laugh. I love a good laugh.
Great, do you like a good
I
drink?
tell an excellent story, so yeah. It's interesting to meet a troop of jesters out here.
Are you allowed to drink off shift? Because we could do a bit of that too.
Drinking. My people are known to imbibe.
Sounds great. We'll see you in a few hours.
Okay. I just some friendly advice. Keep away from the rest of the tribes here. They're less civilized than my people, and they are likely to distrust, if not outright attack you for being here.
Are you allowed to drink on shift?
No.
Just okay. I guess the question was, would any of them be won over by perhaps a bit of beverage?
I highly doubt it.
Fair enough. Appreciate the kind word of warning.
You're welcome. Now, get out of here so I can do my job.
Great. Should we act like you rejected us forcefully from the temple and we've all been smitten about the hidden neck?
Don't worry, I'll deal with that. And with a very sharp, swift movement, he wraps the butt of his staff across the back of Harbeck's head.
Oh, I've been beaten about the head and neck. I didn't mean. I could act pretty. Oh,
And shouts
You pretty
loudly,
literally asked for that.
Get out of here. He did pull the blow expertly. It was like a love tap on the back of the neck, but it made a very loud thwack.
Harbeck.
Obviously a skilled spearman.
Harbeck impersonates a soccer player and rolls and flails all the way down the hill.
As we walk away, I say probably before we're all the way out of earshot. So should we go find the cat people? Do you think they're here? I mean, we could
It'd be quite a coincidence. It would be quite a coincidence.
Well, perhaps they've got our box. That would help our story.
It certainly would. But should we really go poking about in a place where we're likely to be eaten?
A little voice in your head says, should you really be talking about the cat people when you're meeting with the bird people?
Fair enough. They don't get on, huh?
Logic.
Depending on the sizes
so
involved, they almost
where
always
are
eat
you
each
headed?
other.
Where are you guys going to go now that you've been told to meet him later on this evening? In a few hours. But not to stay close.
Right, so we can't stay close, but we can't like go to any of the other groups that are hanging out here. So we just have to go like find an empty spot of ground to twiddle our thumbs for a couple hours.
Okay, so just heading back down the hill a little bit, away from as many people as you can be away from, and just resting.
Thoroughly cowed as we have pink skin, soft pink skin, all of us. We're just going to wander off.
All of you, yes, very soft pink. Although your skin is probably quite grimy at this stage.
Sure, but it's not like furry or feathery or scaly, so we don't fit in here.
Yeah, basically.
Perhaps we should have a more coherent story when we meet with the Elder.
I don't know what could possibly be more coherent than he's a god some of the time.
It's factual and to the point.
Perhaps hitting the story in sequence, beginning to end, rather than the juicy bit and then the inexplicable bit and then the inexplicably juicy bit is the right way to do it.
I'd like
Chronologically,
I'd like
how
to
far
ask
back should we
him-
start?
a question of the Valley of Mists.
Where's that?
I don't know. Somewhere.
Is that the question?
But if I recall, I think that's where Sarath is regaining his strength.
Yeah, maybe we should talk about I Saw Sarath. That was
Yeah,
loose.
because most of the party has no idea what's going on there yet.
I swear I've told you guys this. When I disappeared in that pile of mud or reappeared in the pile of mud,
So you
do you
mentioned
not
something
said you
about
went
recall?
dark air elementals.
They were partnering with Sarath to do something terrible. We didn't know that you saw
and the
Sarath
Darkwind
there.
Elemental. Yeah,
Right.
Sarath exists.
Well, yeah, I know that.
He's working with forces beyond our knowledge, power. If he has crossed across the Elrin Sea and he's in Vier, he's here in Amaris, his powers got to reach across the whole continent.
I think that I once
we're
killed
coming
Kotomok.
to a battle faster than we think, and he's gonna catch everyone except for us off guard.
That's no good. We should do some side quests so we can level up some more.
It's an excellent plan, Din. Excellent plan.
You know what would make a great side quest? Building reputation with one of the tribes so we can get into the temple. Let's go slay 30 cat people for the bird people and bring back their talons, which will only drop off of every fifth one.
So we should.
And turn them in as a repeatable.
So really, we should just wander from group to group until we see somebody with an exclamation point over their head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we should evaluate, we should read all the quest texts and figure out which one will be the most efficient to grind reputation with.
Yeah, and we should pick them all up at the same time so that we can do them all like while we're out in the area.
Right, because the cat people can drop a talon and a tooth. And you can turn one into the dog people and one into the bird people.
Absolutely right. No, but seriously, let's use this opportunity to. What are you going to? You've decided that you need a coherent story. You need to come up with.
Are we going to roleplay this story on stream? This is going to be so terrible. I mean, we should just tell the whole thing from the beginning, right? We met because we were shipwrecked. We went to the temple and found out that there's a Sarath cult, and then they've been following us ever since. And we had the yellow thing, and we had the explodey box, and then we came over here to sort it out because the purple guy shot not magic at us.
We really.
This sounds really coherent. Oh, while we were getting the yellow thing, sorry, back up. While we were getting the yellow thing, we found out that Brieg is apparently capable of going toe-to-toe with a god. He was losing a little, but only a little. And then there were some weird people in a town who recognized him and decided that they should play a joke on him by getting all of us killed by elves. I mean, how do you make this story sound good?
You better make it sound good.
Like that.
So, I
If
think
only
the
our party had a bard.
Do
He could sing the
Do we
tale.
not have one of the boxes that the original ring was in?
Yeah, you still have the original box.
Oh, I have the mace too. I am still carrying inventory. Don't I have the mace?
I believe so, yes. The mace with the unholy symbol of Serath.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have to pull that out and show it to any dragonsons.
so I think we
Sounds
We
need
had to
pretty
get
terrible.
punched in the face.
We need to find a way to tell them all of the things that we only know, like things that we know that we shouldn't, that prove that our story is true. Like, there's no reason that we should know anything about Serath or Kurtlemock unless we actually know stuff about them. You know, like, where would we even have those names? So we need to, like, distill all of that into convince them that we are legit.
How do we tell this story without sounding completely insane, though? Like, why do we know about these things? Because completely
prove
insane
that we
things keep
know.
happening. Oh, we were all having dinner, and that guy disappeared and then reappeared in a pile of mud with this story. How do you do that? He put on a ring and vanished. He came back the day later as a pile of mud. And he told this story.
Well, we believed him when he told us the
Like,
story.
all of the
He
information
does believe us.
that we shouldn't have, that would prove that we, like, something's going on, was, like, every bit of it was gained so unbelievably that we could, like, we're just crackpots. We're jesters, like that guy says.
So maybe we don't tell them how we came to the knowledge. We just find a way to share the information. You know, like, we don't need to tell them.
We're meeting with the avian people, correct?
Yeah.
I have the storm caller. It's important. I have something from Serath in regards to the elemental plane of air.
Like a tangible object? Or an information?
Tangible object in avian script that reads storm caller.
Okay, so maybe we should start with all of our tangible objects. So we've got Stormcaller
I
thing.
think this single tangible object may be enough to get us moving in the right direction.
So we have that. We have a box. We have a mace. I have a ring that is gold with onks that might be somehow related.
Din was looking totally enthralled in this conversation right until she fell asleep.
I also have a book written in maybe Draconic from the shipwreck that is still in my inventory.
So you have a few bits and pieces that you can show off.
So maybe we lead with that.
I think we lead with the ring that I have that has the avian script on it.
I think we say Rogar a lot.
We're going to be meeting with the avian people,
Oh,
so not the dragonkin.
do they know Rogar?
No reason to suspect they do.
Fair enough.
So we lead with, hey, we found this thing. Let me tell you where we found it. And we give them
Or do we
the-
start with the story and then show them it after the story?
I think the way we get them to listen to our story without laughing is, do you
to first
recognize
show
this
them.
thing?
Right.
Let me tell you the story of how we got it. And all of the, like, side stories that
Can we
have
do the
brought
mace
us here.
last? We need to establish that we're enemies before we go, hey, do you recognize this thing? And we get murdered.
We start with the ring Stormcaller.
Right. So we start with the thing that the bird people are most likely to be interested in and thus most likely to recognize. And we only really need to share the other information as they demand it or as it comes up.
There are 3 other rings. We found one that was taken from us. I am confident there's at least 2 others.
So perhaps the other thing that we need to discuss, if, you know, perhaps now we have a way to get them to listen to us. What questions do we have? What information do we really need to move forward with what it is we're doing?
What is it we're doing? We are trying to figure out what's the big evil, right? But we're not like big evil fighters. Well, okay, I'm not.
So, do you remember after the confrontation with Kurtlemark? I've started to remember some bits and pieces.
Aye.
So there's that whole, perhaps I'm a reincarnated god thing happening.
Right. And somehow a guy who makes beer at the monastery is your bodyguard. Like, how do you bodyguard a god? I just don't know how I figure into this. I think that maybe you go with the temple people and you mount the resistance and have a big, glorious thing, and I
But
bow out.
But
I don't
aren't you
know
a
that.
monk?
Aye.
Don't you worship gods? Don't gods have followers?
Nay,
I don't know a lot about
nay,
gods,
I'm a monk, not a cleric.
but you've been following that god around for a long time.
I think the most important.
Brig, do I
thing is to
worship
figure
you?
out if there's.
I don't think so.
Is this how you worship a god?
I really
Maybe I'm a cleric of Brig now.
wish you wouldn't. I can't imagine anything that would make me more uncomfortable than that.
I
Are
guess
you the
we've
god
all
of
been
being
following him
uncomfortable?
around.
Sort of.
Maybe we're all
actually.
clerics.
Then maybe worshipping you by making you uncomfortable by worshipping you is the best way to actively worship you.
I feel like I would be better.
I can
at
make people
worshiping
uncomfortable
if I were
very
a
well.
cleric.
Let's not do that.
I could be a great disciple, Brig. Please have me as a cleric.
I don't think. No.
We're going to come back to this. I think this is a thing that is going to happen. But seriously, in all seriousness, we are going to come back to this. I think everybody here needs to. You've got time now, like in the world. You've got 4 or 5 hours to sit down, get your story straight, decide what you want to tell, what you don't want to tell, what you want to reveal, what you don't want to reveal. And I think that next session, that's going to be a great place to start. Conveniently, we are 2 minutes away from finish time. So, I think we will return to see if Harbeck does in fact become a cleric of Brig, and see how the avian people take the hilariously unbelievable story when it is told to them, depending on how the story is actually put together, during our next session, which is going to be on the 28th,
Yes.
I believe. The
Yep.
20th is a Saturday.
No,
it is?
No, it should be a Friday. Today's the 14th.
It's a Friday. Yeah,
Yep.
Saturday for me. So 2 Saturdays from now, we will. 2 Saturdays from now, we will be seeing exactly how you guys handle the Temple of Alisar and talking to the avian people that you've met there, and whether or not Brig finds his first worshipper.
You can be a cleric to an ideal, right? Like,
Yes.
a cleric to the ideal of being vaguely uncomfortable.
What's funny is that Brig isn't his god personality, and I feel like of all of his personalities, Brig is the one that you would actually worship.
Yeah, like by worshipping Brig, you're not actually worshipping a god. You're worshipping a timid little gnome.
No, he's totally a god.
Anyway, it's been a ton of fun. Thank you so much for showing up, guys, and playing. I really enjoyed this session. There was a lot of RPing in this session and less combat. But I think it was really good because, well, I had a ton of fun. And I didn't have to do a lot of work, which is excellent. And we didn't get anywhere near as far as I thought we would get, which is absolutely typical of this group, which is excellent, you know. I'm happy to continue playing the campaign as long as we can, so...
And that is why we're 48 hours into this and still aren't really sure what we're doing.
Well,
We are,
Next-
but we aren't. Yeah.
you guys definitely want to call in for the next session because you're finally going to be talking to people who
Know what's going on.
actually know about the old gods. And that may make a significant difference to your understanding of what's going on right now. So yeah, next session should be very, very cool.